I heard the kids were coming home for dinner. So for the first time, the old father bought beef that wasn't on sale, chose a top-quality wine, and even spent a few thousand on a barbecue grill. Ever since his wife passed away 8 months ago, the kids hadn't come home. This time, he wanted to prepare well for the kids. But by evening, the old father received calls from them one by one. Some said their children were sick and needed care. Others said something came up and they couldn't leave, and some said they were too busy with work and had to work overtime. The good wine and meat he had prepared ended up being enjoyed by the old father alone. Since the kids were too busy to come home, he decided to go find them himself. During a medical checkup, the doctor told him his lung disease was very serious and that long-distance travel could be life-threatening. The old father didn't follow the doctor's advice but instead asked for a prescription. He dug out his long unused suitcase, packed his things, and boarded a train to his youngest son David's house. On the train, he proudly told the person next to him that his eldest son was a conductor, his youngest son was a painter, his eldest daughter was an executive in a corporation, and his youngest daughter was a dancer. After changing several trains, he arrived at his youngest son David's place. However, at the first stop, he hit a wall. No matter how much he rang the doorbell, there was no response. The old father waited at the door for a long time, but David still didn't come back. As he was about to find a place to stay overnight, he passed by a gallery where David's paintings were on display. It was as if he saw David as a child again, back when his son said he wanted to be a painter when he grew up. The old father said painters only draw puppies on walls and even pee on them. If you're going to be something, be a painter who can change people's lives. It seems his son didn't disappoint him. The next day, the old father came back again, but David still wasn't home. The old father slipped a letter through the door crack and hurriedly got on a bus. He was heading to his eldest daughter's house. She lived in a luxurious villa, and it was his little grandson who opened the door, giving him a happy hug. Wasn't the grandson supposed to be sick? While he was puzzled, the grandson skillfully pulled out the suitcase handle, and only then did the old father realize he didn't have to carry it all the time. Maybe he was just getting old and forgetful. The eldest daughter was very surprised. She hurriedly asked her grandson to take the old father out to play while she stayed inside making phone calls. During the conversation, she learned that her grandson's grades were not good, but her daughter claimed he was always at the top of his class. In the evening, the son-in-law returned to the villa in a fluster, and the couple appeared very loving. However, the usually obedient grandson was constantly targeting the son-in-law. The old father sensed something was wrong and expressed his desire to stay longer. A few more days, but the eldest daughter immediately refused. The son-in-law had to go on a business trip the next day. He worked every day, and the grandson had to go to school every day, so there was no time to take care of him. The old father could only say it was okay. When leaving, the old father wanted to take a photo, but the grandson refused to stand next to the son-in-law. At the train station, the old father asked the eldest daughter. The old father knew the eldest daughter wasn't telling the truth, but he didn't know how to help. This beggar was really bad. The old father saw that he was about the same age as his son and gave him some change, hoping he could buy something to eat. But the beggar was not grateful and even tried to snatch the old father's wallet. During the struggle, the old father's medicine bottle fell to the ground. The beggar ignored the old father's pleas and stomped on the bottle, which contained his life-saving medicine. Without a doctor's prescription, he couldn't buy more. The old father could only bend down and pick up the medicine fragments bit by bit. Seeing a poster on the street, he asked a passerby to take a photo for him. Pointing to the figure conducting on the poster, he proudly said that was his eldest son. But when he arrived at the concert hall, he found the conductor was a stranger, and his eldest son was just a drummer. He asked his eldest son why he wasn't the conductor. "You've had musical talent since you were young and even studied it professionally." The son mustered the courage to tell him that drumming suited him very well, with no pressure and a decent income. The old father said nothing more and expressed his wish to stay longer. But the son said he was leaving for a European tour the next day and had to pack his bags that afternoon. Seeing his son say this, the old father couldn't say anything more. He advised his eldest son to take care of his health, not to focus only on work, and to find a girlfriend when the time was right. As they parted, he asked his son to stay a few more days, but the son said he was leaving for a European tour the next day and had to pack his bags that afternoon. Seeing his son say this, the old father couldn't say anything more. He advised his eldest son to take care of his health, not to focus only on work, and to find a girlfriend when the time was right. As they parted, he asked his son. After the two hugged, the old father reluctantly walked away. He truly felt that his eldest son was not doing well either. Whenever he saw a phone booth on the road, the old father would call David, but no one ever answered. The letter was still on the ground, and the house was already empty at night. Because his watch had a problem, he missed the last bus, but fortunately, he met a kind truck driver who gave him a ride to the train station. The next day, his younger daughter was waiting for him at the station early. His younger daughter was doing quite well, always going out in luxury cars and living in a spacious and bright big house. She happily showed her father around the house and told him he could come and stay anytime he wanted. While they were chatting, a neighbor came over with a child. saying they had an urgent matter and hoped the younger daughter could help look after the child for a while. The old father had a great time playing with the child. In the evening, he poured out all the medicine residue from his pocket, picked out the impurities, and drank it all at once, finally feeling a bit better. At this moment, the phone in the room suddenly rang. The old father wanted to answer it, but the younger daughter told him not to. Still, the old father heard from the voicemail that the big house was rented by the younger daughter. During dinner, the old father asked the younger daughter why they told their mother everything but never shared anything with him. "You always call her, and even if I answer the phone, you only ask where Mom is. Mom always likes to listen, while you always like to give your opinions. Your demands on us are too strict." The old father frowned. "I just want to be a good father." Since he had run out of medicine, the next day, the old father planned to fly back. At the airport, when they parted, the old father walked away without looking back. On the plane, he suddenly felt unwell. He hurried to the restroom. The old father suddenly found it hard to breathe, and his vision became increasingly blurry. In a daze, the children seemed to return to their childhood. The old father took his first leave to come back and accompany the children. He questioned them about why they lied to him. The eldest daughter admitted she had been divorced for 3 months because her husband had someone else. This was also why the grandson resented him. The eldest son also admitted that there was no performance that night. "I just don't know how to get along with my father. There are many things we haven't told you, but that doesn't mean we want to hurt you." He asked his younger daughter if that child was his. The younger daughter replied yes, she was. She wanted to tell her father, but it happened right when their mother passed away. She wasn't sure if her father would like it, especially since she was pregnant before marriage and she wasn't a dancer or anything. She was just an ordinary waitress at a restaurant. The father then asked his beloved younger son why he was avoiding him and not seeing him. Where exactly could he find him? The younger son just smiled foolishly without speaking, which made the father very angry. "Your mother left you with me. How am I supposed to explain this to her?" At that moment, it suddenly started to rain heavily, and the children quickly disappeared. The scene shifted to the father waking up in a hospital bed, with all the children around him. Except for the younger son, David. The father asked where David was. The children didn't want to make him sad again and were reluctant to tell the truth. "I know David is in trouble. I just want to know where he is and how long it will be before I can see him." Seeing they couldn't hide it any longer, the children revealed the truth. Since their mother passed away, David had never been able to move on. He eventually died from a drug overdose in Mexico. In a half-asleep state at night, young David appeared again. "If I could choose, I would do an ordinary job. Like a painter." When Lord Who's elderly father received all the letters sent to David, including the one he wrote to David with photos of the 4 of them with their mother from childhood, the old father went to his wife's grave. He decided he would no longer treat his children as kids, nor would he tell them what to do anymore. They must find their own path. The old father went to the gallery, intending to buy David's painting. Unfortunately, it had just been sold. Upon learning he was David's father, the receptionist ran after him. The receptionist told the old father that David once said if it weren't for his strict father, he might have just been a house painter, with dogs peeing on his work. The receptionist took him to the storage to see if there were any of David's works left. He said that although David's works didn't have high commercial value, they had a unique style. Finally, they did find one. Looking at the painting, the old father's eyes welled up. It depicted his former job. This Christmas, all the children came back. They decorated the house together, cooked together, roasted a turkey, and the whole family finally sat together happily. The movie, Everybody's Fine, ends here. The spring festival holiday has just passed. I wonder if everyone went home to visit. No matter how we fare outside, we should always make time to go home and spend time with our parents. Don't let the love of the elderly become an eternal wait. Alright, if you want to see more great movie reviews, please follow me. Bye bye.